And we are live. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Green Nurse Podcast, where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing. So you can start your day off the highway. The highway. H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. And I'm here with Nurse Carey Lee, Green Nurse Carey Lee from Iowa. And while I pull up my handy dandy video, I'm going to let Green Nurse Carey Lee introduce herself and let all the fans and the new viewers know all about one of my favorite green nurses who's doing amazing things in the community and around the globe with her work. So Carey Lee, you're on while I pull up this video.
Aw, thank you, Sherri. Hello, everybody. My name is Carey Lee. I'm a registered nurse here in the great state of Iowa. I connect patients to Iowa's medical program. I teach them about the endocannabinoid system and the safe and effective ways to choose products and how to use them so that they can achieve their health goals. I'm also a registered medical patient myself and a proud green nurse, a proud ketamine nurse for KetaMD, and ultimately a stigma fighter for all of these wonderful alternative therapies, but specifically cannabis, fighting the stigma. It's okay to feel high, right, Sherri? So
it's okay to feel good. We all deserve to feel good. This plant has been demonized. It is the most misunderstood plant in the entire world. And we're going to start the show off with one of my favorite videos that really truly depicts and has a lot of meaning for me as to why we're doing what we're doing. Okay, here we go.
Change the paradigm of healthcare.
The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I'm the founder of Holistic Caring. We're based here in California, and we do educational programs and case management for patients on how to use cannabis therapeutically as a medicine.
We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high, hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing.
As the founder of Holistic Caring, I basically oversee the whole ship, and what we're doing is progressive education.
Cannabis actually supports all 11 organ systems, our immune system, and all the neurotransmitter signaling systems that give messages to tell our body to either do something or not do something. Because the plant was prohibited, it prevented health professionals, doctors and nurses from learning about cannabis as medicine.
I want to change the paradigm of healthcare and us paving the way into a new vanguard of medicine. And I'm excited to really bring this into light. There's a company called Canem that we're merging with, and we will now be doing global education.
It's about education, it's about empowerment, it's about teaching people how to feel good, bridging the gap from what they're not getting from traditional medicine, utilizing different plant medicines, adaptogens, tips, tricks, hugs, and nugs of information to support and nourish the most important system in our body.
And it's a lot of soul work, a lot of love, a lot of discipline, and meditation. I'm using my life work as a testimony to others to learn how they can be their own hero and then go help heal the world.
And we are, as nurses, the game changers.
There we go.
wow, game changers. That just fires me up.
Isn't it? Right? Game changers. We are the game changers. We are here to decrease stigma. We all deserve to feel good. And so here we are. Happy Hempy Hump Day, everyone. It is Wacky Wild Wednesday, right? And here we are. I'm here with Green Nurse Carey Lee. We're going to start our day off with a little bit of magic, a little bit of numbers. We generally start our shows off with a little woo, a little inspiration, a meditation, an affirmation, just something to think about. Well, I'm going to tell you, Carey Lee and I are both into numbers. There's a lot of people that are into numerology and into numbers. And as we know in the cannabis space, what are some of the numbers that we We hear all the time. We hear about 420, we hear 710, yeah, 420, right? And so I thought it would be kind of fun, because what happened was this morning, when you get onto social media, all your memories pop up from the past. And I had this memory pop up that was a big fat 420, just a little graphic of 420. And then I wrote, because I found numbers, numerology. What does 420 mean in the world of numerology and in the world of spirit? So this is someone's perception. It's a woman who's been doing numerology and angel scribes for a very long time. And I'm just going to pull up my handy dandy notes and read it all to you. So think about 420. What does 420 mean to you? Well, here we go. I'm going to read it from Angel Scribes. Angel number 420 is a blend of the energies and attributes of number 4, number 2, and number 0. Number 4 brings the vibrations of practical thinking, security, and building solid foundations for ourselves and others, inner wisdom, patience, and application of productivity. Number 4 also relates to our passions and what motivates and drives us in our lives, as well as the archangels. Number 2 carries the qualities of partnership and relationships, duality, service and duty to others, balance, harmony, adaptability, diplomacy, cooperation, consideration, and receptivity. Number 2 also relates to the serving of the divine, your divine life purpose and soul mission. Number 0 represents the potential and the choice, the spiritual journey, developing your spiritual aspects, listening to your intuition and your higher self, and infinity. Oneness, wholeness, continuing cycles and flow, the beginning point. Number 0 also relates to the God force, universal energy source, and magnifies the influences of the numbers that it appears with. So you think about this. Angel number 420 is a message that you have opening your heart to a wonderful possibility and opportunities to do your soul mission. You see the number 420, you may have a strong and clear connection with the angelic and spiritual realms, and you are receiving divine guidance through your intuition, dreams, and recurring thoughts. Trust the messages and guidance from the angels and follow accordingly. Angel number 420 is a reminder to maintain faith and trust in the angels and the universal energies. Your life purpose is an important one, and you are prompted to put your efforts towards living and serving it to the fullest potential. Trust that you are safe. Trust that you are protected. Trust that you're surrounded by angels. Angel number 420 also encourages us to pursue our ideal career and profession. If you are intuitively prompted to begin or expand a spiritually based career, practice or profession, or heart-based service, the angels will assist with establishing the foundations that will lead you to your desired results and ultimate success. Working to serve others will manifest all that you want and need to do in your life. So don't procrastinate about making your move. Don't procrastinate about enjoying the fruits of your labor. Do not procrastinate about living your best life. So Angel 420, what do you think about that, Carey Lee?
Wow, spiritual goosies everywhere. I love this, especially coming off of, being surrounded by so many powerhouse, trailblazing cannabis nurses at the conference. How about it? My soul is filled, nourished,
Completely filled, completely full, completely knowing that we're doing the right thing.
Yes.
Right? We're doing the right thing here as health professionals, as nurses, as clinicians, not only because it's helped us, but we see the potential through our own life experiences of what plants can do for others. And so we came together last week in Albuquerque, New Mexico with the American Cannabis Nurses Association, the Green Nurses from Holistic Caring, Cannabis Nurses Network. There's over 1,700 members at the American Cannabis Nurses Association. And I think we had close to 170 people that attended, 170, clinicians that came out for this conference. And so it started, we flew out, Carey Lee, Denise, Michelle, Kathleen, Jamie, we all flew out on Friday to Albuquerque, and we enjoyed Albuquerque, as visitors, as tourists. And then on Sunday, it kicked off the American Cannabis Nurses Association 2021 CannaCare Conference. So I had Denise on yesterday, and she shared her experiences about how she took care of herself and what her experiences were like when we were at the conference. And now I have my girl, Carey Lee, here from Iowa, and she's going to share her experiences, all the things that she learned, and how she took care of herself as a medical cannabis patient in a different state where the laws are different. So
So
these are
huge.
really important things. Yeah, exactly. So Carey Lee, let's get into what was it like for you while you were traveling? You know, what you do the daily 5 to Thrive. I really love it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
let's just get into what Albuquerque, New Mexico was like for you, and then we'll just dialogue back and forth.
Absolutely, absolutely. So first of all, beautiful, beautiful state, beautiful people. The first thing that Jamie and I did when we landed on Friday was we pulled up the Weed Maps app and looked for the closest dispensaries. Research and development, right?
There you go. R&D for the new viewer.
R&D, baby, R&D for the win.
Right. So for the new
So
viewer, Carey Lee, for the new viewers, a lot of people may not know what Weed Maps is.
Okay,
So
so
I was like,
Weed Maps is an invaluable resource, not just for education on all things cannabis and endocannabinoid system, but you can actually use it to locate dispensaries. You can pull up their menus and be able to kind of figure out where do you want to go, what's gonna fit the best into what you're seeking. So excellent website. You can also access them by downloading their app on your Droid or your Apple. The biggest thing that stood out to me with New Mexico with regards to cannabis is its reciprocity law, and what that is it pretty much is protecting and covering, out of state medical card holders. And I found the process to be super super easy. We hit up 7 Clover Dispensary in Albuquerque. You guys were phenomenal. You made us feel so welcome. They gave excellent education on the process. Was super super simple. I brought my existing medical card in with my current valid state identification. They basically just used that information, registered me within their medical programs system, and then they issued me out a temporary medical card for New Mexico on the spot. It's good for 1 year, and I could use it at any dispensary that I chose within the state of New Mexico. So bravo, New Mexico. That is huge.
that's great.
I can't tell you how many patients, including myself, it's such a huge stress to be
Right.
worrying about how am I going to get my medicine there illegally,
Right.
and or how do I access? So
Right. So quick question. So what was the process like? So when you went in, you said you had to did you have to meet with anyone? Did they, or was it just a system that, okay, well, because they're smart and they know that all humans have an endocannabinoid system and they're not being nitpicky
no, they weren't nitpicky at all.
buttholes.
Well, first of all, we walked up to the building and the doors are locked. You can't just walk in off the street.
Right.
Security is important, right? We're dealing with cannabis.
Mhm.
So we just let them know that we were out of state visitors and we had medical cards, and could we enter their establishment and purchase products. And they were like, absolutely, come on in. And no, we didn't have to have any special appointments. We just
Good.
walked in. They were very warm and friendly and courteous, very knowledgeable, and literally it just went right down. Boom. They let us roam around the shop and kind of
Excellent.
peruse around, and while they were
Yeah.
handling the business aspect of it, which basically all they had to do was input my information based upon the
Information.
data that I gave them. So
Exactly.
easy,
It was pretty
easy,
easy.
easy. That's important. Easiness.
It
I
is
mean, I
important.
don't want to have to give up the life of my firstborn just to get
Right.
go through the
Exactly.
process. And that's a joke, people. But
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
let's talk about this, Carey Lee. So the difference between Iowa and New Mexico, as far as even products are concerned. So here you are, you're in Iowa. So for the new viewers, let them know what Iowa's like and the type of products that you can get in Iowa versus the other types of products that you're able to get in other states that might be a little
absolutely.
bit
So
more liberal.
basically, Iowa is not even really considered a cannabis medical program. It's called a cannabidiol program, which cannabidiol is the scientific name for CBD, correct? So basically, the products that I have, 3 different products. We don't have flour, we don't have concentrates, we don't have edibles per se. We have straight up CBD products by cart, tablet, salve lotion. And then we also, tincture. And then we also have a 1-to-1 product, equal parts CBD and THC. Again, vape, tablets, cream lotion, and or tincture. And then the exact same routes of administration for a THC rich product, their comfort line.
Wow.
So New Mexico had it all. They had flour, they had concentrates, they had edibles, they had tinctures, they had tiki juice. So, I mean, as a patient, as a nurse, I knew what I was walking into. I'm educated on all of those different things. That particular dispensary, those staff members, they were very well versed, and I would have felt comfortable, as a layman asking for education on those products and what they were doing. They were very, very knowledgeable, which doesn't always happen
I know.
in the dispensaries. So,
well, and that's why we have what? We have our handy dandy. Gonna have to plug it. What do we got here? Our community. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
yes,
So if
holistic
you're
caring
new,
network community.
right? So if you're new in the industry, if you're a licensed health professional, if you're interested in entering into the cannabis space, interested in working in a dispensary, interested in doing anything in the cannabis space, you need to come join the community because there's a ton of resources. So we can help educate you and get you started, get you launched on your cannabis entrepreneur journey, which is really fun. All right, let's get back to New Mexico.
So, I mean, everybody knows what those that follow me know what my 5 to thrive are, just a really quick. Number 1 is sleep. Number 2, nutrition, hydration. Number 3, moving your ass every day, getting some form of physical movement in. Number 4, some type of stress reducer, spirituality, like in terms of like meditation, gratitude journaling. And then number 5, getting outside into Mother Nature, sunshine, vitamin D, right? So it's I'm not gonna fluff you. It's really
No fluff.
difficult.
No
It's
fluff.
difficult to stay. You can't stay in line and necessarily accommodate your absolute routine from 100% when you're
Right.
traveling, and that's
Right.
okay
But you can
because there's
adapt.
just
You can include.
adapt, you flex, and you pivot. For me, it's a picking and choosing of what really is truly important, and that number 1 is sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep
Number
hygiene.
1.
So, it was just like, hey, I had, the first leg of our trip. I mean, we were in New Mexico for the ACNA conference, right? But we were also the second half of our trip. We were in Las Vegas, and that's a whole other ball of wax right there, right? So
Different
I was
universe.
working. I was predominantly working at the ACNA conference, working
Yeah.
the conference floor as a representative of Keta MD. We're recruiting nurses, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it was important for me to be fresh. I mean, I'm on the floor for anywhere from 8 to 10 hours, talking, conversing, energetic exchange is a real thing, right? So to keep my moods regulated and my cognition sharp, sleep is important. So leaving early from some of the social events to get back to that hotel room and sink
That'll win.
into my nighttime rituals, which those are easy to maintain. I shower every night, whether I feel like I need to or not. Showering to me, a nice warm shower helps me to calm down. It helps me to reset my central nervous system. It also kind of helps me. I do a little self Reiki.
There you
Um,
go.
I like to visualize the water washing off the day's energy that doesn't belong to me.
There you go.
And then I like to lotion it up. You taught me that. Lotion it all up to seal in and create this protective barrier, correct?
Yes.
So,
That's great.
it is. I mean, little
That's really
things,
good.
little things. So sleep was huge.
Yeah. Nutrition and hydration.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, travel days especially, for me, I live in rural Iowa. So the closest airport in any direction is 3-hour drive one way, plus you're
Mm.
dealing with your air travel and
Yep.
then, all the other goodies, right? So
Yeah.
I don't like to eat very much. I eat very minimally. I focus more on
And hydration.
hydration with water, non-caffeinated tea. If you think about it, it makes sense because when we're traveling, we're sitting, we're not moving, we're not on the go. What does our digestive system need to help keep it propelling and moving things along? It needs movement. So it makes
Mhm.
sense to kind of, you can reduce your caloric intake. You don't need the calories anyway. You're not expending enough energy to need
Energy,
them, right?
right?
Um,
Unless you're in fight or flight because
well, that's true.
because
And
the TSA
yeah.
agent because the TSA agent pulled your bag aside for a bottle of
Oh
water.
my God. Yeah. So that's when I would carry
Yeah,
healthy snacks. I
awesome.
totally pulled the mom card out. I had little packets, 100-calorie packets of it was like a walnut almond dried cherry mixture.
Yeah,
I had unsalted sunflower seed nuts. I mean, it's just,
right.
it's
Well, here's the
it,
thing too, is
you want to
it's
be
also
prepared, right?
yeah.
In any given moment.
Well, also too nutrient dense foods, right?
Yes. Yes.
Nutrient dense foods, not big giant meals, hydration throughout the entire time. And how did you
Absolutely.
use your cannabinoids when you traveled? How did you use
Oh,
it?
yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I really didn't. Actually, I did change it up a little bit. I increased my CBD intake during the travel days, especially, mainly because, like you just mentioned, fight or flight mode. I am a CPTSD patient,
Mhm.
and the TSA portion of traveling is extremely triggering to me. I have an issue with authority figures, and so that extra CBD really, really helps me to remain chill, remain calm, keep that emotional resilience, in check and thriving so that I can move through um, those situations with ease or be able to handle any discomfort,
That
that
comes your
that
way while you're
that comes your
traveling.
way while you're encountering it. Absolutely. So,
Yeah. So here's
um,
something fun I want to share. And this is something that we did together.
yeah,
And the reason why it's fun is because it goes to show that when you're working with plant medicines and other entheogens, you can take that experience and bring it with you into another situation to help you get through. So, because I have issues, I'm not gonna lie, I have issues with PTSD as well. And I've also have been working through issues of agoraphobia, which is very, very real. Plant medicines, psychedelics, cannabinoids have truly helped me to get through to the point where I'm able to pick up and go travel. However, like Carey Lee said, it requires me to utilize all the tools in my toolbox. And some of the new tools that we have started to gather has to do with having an experience using other plants and carrying that with you. So Carey and I had a deep, deep shamanic journey what was it, maybe a month ago? I forget, maybe a little bit longer. I forget. But anyways,
mhm,
bottom line, we had
yeah,
this journey at the end of the summer and we created a space where we could move and be in a space of sovereignty and peace and connection. And we did it together. So when I started to feel a little overwhelmed, I said, Carey, let's step into the experience that we had together. Let's bring out that magic wand, right? Let's create our reality as we get through the airport, right? Because if you think about it, instead of looking at what's going on outside, that's going to bombard my energetic field and create some of that anxiety. We went inside to some of the experiences that we've had before using plant medicines and creating a safe space that we could integrate into real life. That's powerful. And
it's
Carey
huge.
Lee, yeah. And it's simple, but it requires imagination and it requires you to eliminate the box that makes you think you have to think outside the box. Because here, when you are doing these exercises, you are building resilience. You are building an ability to ground this information into your body so you can carry it with you anywhere. This worked. We stepped out of the matrix into our own internal
Yes.
world, a safe
Yes.
space that we created, and we were able to get through the airport in a way that felt good, that was fun, that wasn't stressful. And then when we got in the plane and we were like, oh, we did it. We
Yeah.
did it. Right?
Yeah,
It was
absolutely. I had no panic attacks this time. I as you had known from my travels over the summer, I had a really horrible panic attack on a flight heading down to Florida, and it took me several days to recover
get
from
through
it.
it.
So
Yeah.
preparation is key, and
Yeah.
we also reframed some of our thought process, because I think we both were feeling that uh trigger by that authority figure type situation,
Yeah.
right? And so
Oh, yeah.
we reframe that in a way of, hey, look, they're doing all of these procedures.
Keep
All
us
of
safe.
this is to ultimately protect the general public. And when I could actually start saying that over and
Yeah.
over in my mind, it did take away the fear that they were trying to hurt me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I could really take away that skewed perception, that
Yep.
traumatized, triggered perception, and reframe it in a manner that was more logical, and
Yeah.
real. So,
Exactly. And so when you're traveling too, it's really important to know the laws. It's really important to know what you can and cannot travel with when it comes to cannabis, because it is still federally illegal. And I'll just share with you a little story that happened with me. I shared it yesterday for the people that weren't here yesterday. I'll share it again. So going through the TSA line with my bags, the shoes were off, the jacket was off, the phones were in the bin, the computers were in the bin, and I had a backpack and a purse, and they're going through. I come through, I pass the scan. I'm in the tube going like this, and they're frisking. You're doing all the things, and I'm like, yay, great, I got through. So I go to get my bags. My backpack's on the other side, and the TS lady, and I look at my backpack, and the TS lady says, "Is that your backpack, ma'am?" And I said, "Yes, it is." She goes, "You're gonna have to come with me." So trust me, I panicked. I was nervous. I was scared because I did have some capsules, gummies, and tinctures and topicals in my bag. They weren't labeled. However, that goes through your mind. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Bag gets taken away. She starts asking, "Ma'am, is there anything you want to tell me about that's in that bag?"
oh my God.
So I'm like, "Yes, I have my medicine in there. That's the truth." And she says, "Okay, is there anything dangerous in that bag?" And I said, "No, there's nothing dangerous in that bag." She goes, "Are you sure?" I go, "I'm very sure." So she takes a stick and she sticks the bag in my backpack and she starts shaking it around. She goes, "I found it." I go, "What'd you find? What'd you find?" And she pulls out a big bottle of water and
Ah,
she says, "Ma'am, you are not allowed to have this on the flight. You're not allowed to pack this in your bag. This is completely 100% against TSA regulations. Did you know that?" And I said, "You know what? I did know that." And I said, "Water is my medicine too." And so I'm really, really sorry that that was in the bag. It was not my intention to break the rules. And I said, "Can I have a sip of that?" And she goes, "Sure." So, and then that was the space where I had enough CBD on board. I had the tools that I needed to stand there without literally having a panic attack saying, "Okay, I'm going to be accountable for my actions. I'm not going to run away from this. If I'm supposed to have my plant while I travel, I'm going to have my plant." And as it turns out, the bottom line is they weren't looking for cannabis. They were looking for dangerous objects, and the bottled water could have been a bomb. Who knows what it could have been?
right.
But the bottom line is that after that experience, I thanked her. I said, "You know what? Thank you. Thank you for protecting the public." And thank you for showing me that it was just my water. that was,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was, was in a space. So it's
Whew,
really,
it was
really important. Yeah. The other thing that's important too, I just want to mention when traveling, if you do decide to take the gamble of traveling with your cannabis, is you need to understand a couple things. The only difference between CBD and THC, or sorry, the only difference between cannabis and hemp is a test result to show. So if you have product, on you, and they're not really looking for it anymore, but the bottom line is if they do find it, the only way they're going to be able to tell what it is through a test result.
right.
So just really, really be
That's a
careful.
great point.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things I also learned from another medical professional in the space is that if you have prescription medicines, they're not allowed to open up your bottle. So that's something else that I learned. They're not allowed to open up your medication. Yeah.
That's
So
great information. Really great
yeah, it
information.
is. Is really great information. So if your bottles are unlabeled, that could be an issue because they could look into them because it doesn't say anything. What's in that bottle, ma'am? So having even if it's a label that you create on your own. I put on my bottle essential oil, facial serum, because I can use my CBD topical as a facial serum. I can even use my tincture as a topical. So, really, really important. We want you all to be safe. That's why we're here. We're here to Here to teach you about that. Do you have any other thing you want to share, Carey Lee, about our awesome time? Vegas, too. Vegas was very interesting. What was your experience with Vegas in the cannabis space, especially at MJ BizCon and all the activities that you went to?
Wow. I mean, wow. It had been over a decade since I had been to Las Vegas. So first and foremost, I was like, blown away by all the changes. But it was just absolutely amazing to be surrounded by the cannabis industry. There were so many people, lots of networking. I did not actually attend the actual conference itself, but I attended several events and just it's just really
Around the
super
conference.
uplifting to just meet so many different people who are, working ultimately towards the same thing as we are. And
Yeah.
it feels great to be part of something way, way bigger than little old me. And I'm just so
I
grateful.
know.
So,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
and I want to thank you as well, Carey Lee, because your daily 5 to Thrive is really, really important. All of the things that you mentioned are tools that can be put in our toolbox that can support and nourish the endocannabinoid system. When we talk about cannabinoid therapeutics, it's really important for people to understand that it's much more than just cannabis.
Yes.
Because every single thing that we do or don't do in our lives affects our endocannabinoid system and how the plant is going to work in our body. So really, really, really awesome stuff.
May I
And
say one
yes,
more thing? I just wanted to
absolutely.
send out a huge shout out and thank you to Miss Taylor Hayes, who is also a green nurse. She is the founder and president of the International Association of Psychedelic Nurses. I won this T-shirt from her organization at the American Cannabis Nurses Association conference. And for those of you that were at the conference, it was like literally being on The Price is Right. I ran down the
You
conference
won.
aisle like I had won $1 million, and I feel
I
like I did.
know.
Thank you for
Yeah.
everything that you do within our community and the psychedelic community, Taylor. Just amazing, amazing organization. Please, please, please. I'll
Yeah.
pop a link in our comments for those
Yes,
interested in
definitely.
checking her out in her space.
Yep.
So
Absolutely. International
yeah,
Association of Psychedelic Nurses, the majority of cannabis nurses are also founding members of this organization. And like Carey Lee said, she is a nurse supervisor with Keta MD. She does mental wellness at home with ketamine guided treatment, which I think is just really amazing. And like I said, these types of therapies work in conjunction with cannabinoid therapeutics. Cannabis supports the utilization of psychedelics because of how it works in our brain. And integrating this together really, really has helped people. And I can speak, like Elizabeth Mack said in the beginning of the video, our life experiences, our life stories, utilizing these different plants and how we've worked through our challenges and overcome them is really, really powerful. So now, psychedelics is going to be the next wave of plant medicines that is, and even some of those psychedelics that aren't plant medicines, such as ketamine, that are traditional pharmaceuticals that are being utilized for refractory PTSD or refractory depression. And those are conditions where medications don't work, where patients have been doing every single thing possible to help them get out of the loop of PTSD, sickness, sadness, depression, anxiety, agoraphobia, right? I mean, these types of things,
yes.
other types of therapies can contribute, and cannabinoid therapeutics goes with it. So, Taylor Hayes, we love you. Taylor is also going to be developing with you guys the nurse guide program that we're going to be having in our community at Holistic Caring. And this would be for providers, for nurses, for people that are interested in learning about how to get into the space of psychedelics, whether it be as a patient or as a provider. So good work, Carey Lee, good work, Jamie, and good work, Taylor. And I'm honored to be part of the organization, and I'm honored to be one of the ketamine nurses that you
Yes.
trained. Which is great.
I love
Yeah.
you.
I love you too, sweetheart. So,
Mm.
really happy to have you all here. We are going to wrap it up. I'm going to end with one of my other favorite videos. And join us tomorrow morning. Actually, you know what? I got to do one other little plug here. So, in honor of Women's Health Month and Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Holistic Caring and the Green Nurses are having a sale on all of our self-paced programs. 25% off. So if you, like I said, are a nurse, a provider, interested in becoming a coach, or interested in entering into the cannabis space as a professional or getting a job, this is a great place for you to come. Also for patients, if you're a new patient or current patient, if you're suffering from chronic illness, if you have questions about cannabis, if you're not sure or you understand how to make it work, come and join us in the community and check out the programs. They're 25% off. Autism, epilepsy, migraines, autoimmune, chronic pain, cancer, wellness. And there's a lot more that's being added. Tonight, what we're doing is we are introducing one of our newest programs. Danielle Simone Brand wrote the book called Weed Mom. Okay. And so a lot of nurses are quoted in this book. I'm quoted in this book having to do with alcohol and cannabis, which is, one of my hot topics. But she's going to come on tonight. We're going to talk about her book. She is an award-winning author for this book. She's won awards. She is an amazing author, amazing educator, and amazing mom. And we're going to have her on. She's going to talk about the book, what propelled her to write it, and then our program. So the launching of our program, which is Wellness for Women, utilizing the tips, tricks, hugs, and nugs in the Weed Mom book. So make sure you join us tonight for the podcast. It's going to be really good. Great. Women in weed.
Good
right,
stuff.
y'all.
Lots of good stuff going on.
Lots of good stuff going on. So if you're new to cannabis, come join us in the community. It's off of social media. It's private. It's uncensored. Free introductory to cannabis course, patient portal, patient support group, and book club. It's all complimentary. And then, of course, we have the programs for purchase, but we have a community that we all want you to join. There's a ton of free information and resources. And just know that we care about you and know that we're here because it really is about living your best life and helping others do the same. Love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow.
We're here to educate and empower patients to make choices that are best for them. We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. Hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I think it just stopped.
Uh-oh.
Did it stop?
It did.
Okay, it stopped. So we're just going to end the show with another video. All right, well, that's one of my favorite videos, and I will put the link up. Remember, everyone, it's about living your best life and helping others do the same. We love you. Bye.
Oh.